I took a leaf off my Cowboy Blues right there, and this other one is off the Fisherman's Paradise. And I see I have a little roots coming off my Cowboy Blues. The other one hasn't started yet. Have a few begonia starts. They seem to be doing right. This is what I've got. It's a baker's rack, 6 racks with glass. I've got it in front, not in front of a bay window, facing south. I have a window kind of facing southwest. Then I have a white garbage bag split hanging on the other side to block the really intense sunlight. It can hit over 100 degrees. It's November now. It can hit 100 degrees really easy with that bright light. And I have my plants here. I have some Venus flytraps there. They'll hit the morning sun. It's overcast today. Leaves are falling. Squirrels out there running around in the yard. This pink feathers here, it was standing up pretty straight. It's starting to come down, but the leaves are curling, so I'm not going to say it's too cold yet. It might be too cold at night at this window, but they were curling in another place that I had them. This one's curled too, but I'm not going to say it's too cold yet because I just got them moved in here. Right now it's showing, last night it was 68 degrees, 47% humidity. It got up to 51%. Then it will go to low 30s and even dip into the high 20% humidity sitting here. I have some leaves propagating down there in a fish bowl covered in plastic. Then I have a punch bowl up here that if this plant, it might be a little bit touchy. It might have to be warmer. It might have to have more humidity. So I'll put it in this punch bowl here and put a cover over it, plastic cover, to raise the humidity. I took all the flowers off my plants when I first got them, the ones I had. This is at Alamo Sunshine Sport. It's just starting to get flowers again. My Cowboy Blues really got a pretty flower coming up. This one was fully flowered, and I took the flowers off it. And also this one. This was just starting to get flowers again. So it's been over a month. And this is that variegated one I got from my sister-in-law. And also I was given that one. I kept it. This was just starting to get flowers. That's the Gunsmoke. Wrangler's Gunsmoke. I have this plastic covering. I'll cover it at night. Just maybe hold in a little heat. It's see-through. It's what you put on your windows to insulate them in the winter. And then now you can see the plants a little better. The variegation on these are just awesome. This one hasn't started to bloom at all, so I'm thinking it needs a little more special care. And my African violets, my Venus flytraps, I've got 3 of them here. They are just fully loaded with traps and leaves. They say they're only supposed to have about 7 leaves on them, so they've multiplied quite sufficiently in the condition I got them. My main plants here, and what I found with these Venus flytraps is I put them in a pan. I live out in the desert here in Idaho, and it's really dry humidity. So if I put a cover, this cover is a garbage bag to kind of block the sunlight. I had them covered, and you can see some of them are just laying down. If you get too much humidity, they will just kind of lay down. So I've got them uncovered. I see some of the leaves traps are starting to stand up. Too much humidity, you get all this undergrowth growing. Also, the insects that they eat, I saw one yesterday. Where is it? Right here. too much humidity, the old insects that it's digested will turn a gray. Well, that's mold. There's mold in my sphagnum moss, and that's too much humidity. So I keep them partially covered because of the sunlight. That one's just opening from having a snack, his insect, his or her insect. So I watch the color of the insects for mold, keep it just to where they get a little humidity. This is to block the sun. This one's got some nice red color to it. So they're supposed to be going dormant. This is November, go dormant through the winter. So when they're showing me they're going down, then I'll put them out in the garage where it's a little bit cooler. And then when I split them, just like this one here, there's several plants in there. It's just loaded. Also that one. There's several of them I'm going to go ahead and let flower and seed. The rest of them I'll just cut the flowers off when they're coming up. They're little tiny babies coming up next to the plant. So it could have seeded where I bought these from. Could have seeded, dropped seeds in, and through the summer these little teeny traps have grown. They're pretty small compared to a thumbnail. These are larger. So I think they're a little bit older plant. But I've got just a pan. I put wires over top to keep the plastic from getting down onto the plants. And that provides the humidity. And then I'll take a spray bottle and spray the sphagnum moss, and it really raises the humidity really nicely. And I might have to do that to this pink feathers plant. I might have to give it more humidity, keep it warmer. It does show that it could be getting some babies coming in the center and the crown. So it's not really in trouble, not really stressing. Everything else looks pretty good. I've got some leaves in another window. Here's some Venus flytrap containers that the traps come in. It's completely closed with some holes in top, and I've got some leaves propagated in that one. Those leaves are off the one plant, the rose bouquet. It's not going to make it. Something was wrong with it from the get-go, and so I cut the leaves off. They were turning different colors. I don't know if I'm going to be able to save it, but that plant's not going to make it out of all the ones that I did get. That's my setup. My other setup I had a table here farther into the front room. I built this little frame to hold my grow light lamps. And I had them here covered in plastic, but it was not giving me what I thought the light that I needed that's coming off this big bay window. This is off to the east, and then this is the south. What I did is I downloaded an app on my phone, my cell phone, and it reads your light intensity, the lumens, and it does a really good job. I don't know if it's accurate, but this is kind of what it looks like. It's reading that it's 117 lux right now. Then as I get closer to the bay window, it's jumping up. Now I got to turn it. I probably won't be able to read it. We'll see. It's showing 3,600 right there, 4,600. When the sun is out, it'll hit 10, 12,000. So it kind of shows me where to put my plants. This over here on this plant is 2518. Well, that's what it was reading clear back here. I could get 3,000, 4,000 back here. I can get 8,000, 9,000 here with the sun out. So it might not be accurate, but it's telling me that this is probably a better place for it. Anyway, it's an amp. It's a lux light meter. Get it off your Play Store. I got an Android. I don't have any other phone, but this is what I got from Android, and it does a good job. Just tells you kind of where to put your plant, where it's a little bit more light without putting them right into direct sunlight. Okay, the sun just come out, and I showed this earlier, what it would read. It's so hard to see. Without the sun, it didn't read very much. That shows me it's 129,759. It's kind of hard to see with the sunlight. So turning it away from the sun is 84. As I turn it, there's 14,000, 16, 18, 20, 36. Then it's just 109, 29,759 is hitting that plant right there. So with the sun out, that's showing, turning it more, 129,759. Then where I had them back in here, the sunlight is hitting the floor, we're going to 2,300. And back then when I'd turn my grow lamps on, it would only hit like 7,000. So this little meter on my cell phone actually tells me pretty good readings. Now this is what's coming into my Venus flytrap. That's 129,759 right there. Well, it tells me kind of where to place my plants. And then as the sun gets farther, it's really dark clouds up there, so I'm not going to get much sun today. The sun will come over the top right here, and it will be bright for these plants for an hour or so in the center. So these on the edge, and that's why I have that plant sitting there, to get more sunlight and see if that'll help it. But it could be at night, it's getting too cold at night. That one's getting quite a bit of sunlight. Then I'm just going to watch the plants and see if they do okay where they're at. If they do okay where they're at, now this one, this is an old-timey plant. It does good probably no matter where I put it. So, but it's blooming really well. Then I have my little begonia starts. They get a little bit of sunlight later, not much. And then these down here, I keep them out of the sunlight. That's the leaves I'm propagating. Just checking the moisture in the glass. So everything, I keep these little seedlings that's in water, I'm keeping them out of the sunlight. They get a little bit just in for 15-20 minutes. These don't get in a lot of sun either. So anyway, with the sun out, this meter on my phone really shows kind of where you can walk around your house and put your plants. I'm really thinking this is going to be a gorgeous plant when it blooms also. That's my fisherman's paradise.